The story of an African named Yasuke, who lived in the 16th century Japanese Empire where violent conflicts took place from slavery to becoming the country's most important samurai, is astonishing. You are no doubt curious about the circumstances that led to the arrival of an African slave in the easternmost part of Asia. In any case, it's a fascinating story. Because of the story's history, Yasuke is often seen as an urban legend, but evidence supports his existence. In the year 1579, while the Japanese Empire was witnessing violent conflicts, under the rule of General Oda Nobunaga Daimyo, an African-origin slave who attracted attention with his agility enters the lens of important statesmen of the period. The slave named Yasuke goes down in history as one of the most important samurai in the history of Japan. It is unknown where Yasuke is from. It is thought that he was born in 1555 or 1566, although it is not certain. It is thought that the equivalent of Yasuf, the real name of the former slave who was called Yasuke by the Japanese nobles of that period, is Yasuke in Japanese. Yasuke's appearance on the stage of history as a slave begins with the arrival of the Portuguese fleet led by the Italian missionary and merchant Alessandro Valignano to the territory of Japan in 1579. Yasuke, who came to Japan on a slave ship, is greeted with interest by the public because of his black skin color. After working in the church built by the missionaries in Kyoto for a while, his name goes back to General Nobunaga, and his purchase comes to the floor. While the average height of Japanese men is 150 centimeters, Yasuke's height is around 180 centimeters, which causes all eyes to be drawn on him. The situation becomes such that the Japanese begin to flock to the church built in Kyoto just to see Yasuke. Hearing Yasuke's fame, General Nobunaga calls him to his office. When he appears before him, the general is impressed by his power and majesty. He comments it's worth 10 Japanese for Yasuke. According to historians, an interesting dialogue takes place here. Nobunaga says Yasuke's color is an ink and orders him to be washed. However, Yasuke, whose color remains the same despite being washed and scratched, shocks the general. Because no one with black skin has been seen before in Japan. From this meeting, Nobunaga is pleased with African Yasuke and takes him under his protection. For a short time, Nobunaga takes Yasuke with his samurai and trains him. As a result of the loyalty he showed in the military training he completed in 1581, he received the title of samurai warrior at the ceremony held in Izuchi Castle and donned the katana made by his master swordsman. It is said that Yasuke, who achieved great success here, was very close with his general. Unusually, Yasuke finds a place at his master's table and is invited. He soon became Nobunaga's most important soldier thanks to his majesty and power. The African slave, who grew stronger by training alongside other samurai, soon became the General Nobunaga's favorite man. African Yasuke, who begins to learn Japanese, participates in many wars under the auspices of his master. However, Yasuke's samurai career came to an end with the coup attempt of Akechi Mitsuhita, one of Nobunaga's generals. In 1582, General Mitsuhita attacked the Hana Shrine in Kyoto to overthrow his master, and killed many of the samurai who were tasked with protecting it. When Lord Nobunaga realizes the defeat, he ends his life with his sword to die with dignity. Yasuke, the African samurai whose master has died, is exhausted while fighting and is captured. In the face of Yasuke, the African samurai captured by the enemy, the rebellious samurai who capture him, are unsure of what to do with him. Because the person in front of them is not a white-skinned Japanese but a black wild. He is immediately brought before the rebel General Mitsuhita. Yasuke asks General Mitsuhita's permission to take his own life with honor in peace. However, the general says that Yasuke does not deserve this honor because of the color of his skin, because he is not Japanese. He is spared and sent to the church in Kyoto. Yasuke leaves there and returns to his former master Alessandro Valleganano and lives there. Yasuke, who became the country's most famous samurai warrior from slavery within a year, is in history with his success story, but not much is known about him. Part of Yasuke's life was the subject of Thomas Lockie's fictional book The Legendary Black Samurai. Although Yasuke takes place for a short time in Japanese history, years later he becomes the subject of books written for children. Yasuke, the first and only African samurai, leaves behind a Japanese proverb attributed to him, although it is unknown whether it was dedicated to him. If a samurai is to be brave, he must have some black blood in his veins. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe.